Now when we have the PODS plugin installed, well, then we can create our first pod. And you do that by going under PODS admin and add new. And here you get some kind of a little bit of a wizard. Well, the only thing we need to do now is to create new, because we would like to create our pods for the projects. And you write the singular label, project and projects, like this, and then you click the next step. And then you need to configure this one. You can add multiple groups with data, and you can select where each group should show up. It should show up below the normal content or in the right sidebar that you have for a lot of different settings in WordPress, for the block settings and so on and so forth. You have a lot of tabs here, and I will not cover all of them. I will actually cover quite a few of them, because in these videos I will try to keep it as the kind of bare minimum, and I will cover them as we go. But one thing that we need to know about is that under advanced options, if you scroll to the bottom, as we are creating a new post type, you can kind of inherit a lot of features from that original post type. So here you can say what kind of things do we want to support. We want title and we want editor, and in my case I also want a featured image, because I think that would be nice to have a featured image for each project. I don't select the author because a project can have multiple authors, so therefore I will create a separate field for that, and then I don't need to handle kind of both of them, so I just have one field for that. Maybe we would like to have an excerpt and so on and so forth, but I'll leave it. We can come back later and we can fix that. Now when we go back to fields, you can actually edit. It says more fields, and if you don't like that, well, then you can say this is project data or whatever, and then we maybe should change that one also, project underscore data. The name needs to be without spaces, and you can say here it should be on the side or it should be the normal, and then there is also one thing that's called advanced, but we leave it as it is. So I just save this group, and then we click on manage fields, and then we can add a field. The first field I would like to use is for the creators of the project, and that is a relationship. And this is one thing that is really powerful with pods that we will see later on, that now I can create a connection from this project to something else. And in our case, we want to connect it to the users. And there are a lot of things that you can connect to, but we would like to connect it to users. We haven't set up the users yet with some, we haven't extended that, so there are no fields in the users that can connect back, but we will cover that later on. When you select anything in this one for the field type, it changes the left menu, and now it says relationship options. And this is a little bit important, because in our case, we would like to be able to add multiple users to each project. And then you can select how do you input them. Well, I think that autocomplete is the best for a site there where you might have a lot of users. Because if you have a kind of drop down or list, then you need to scroll, then it's usually easier to search in that case. I deselect this one because I don't want to be able to create new users when I create a new project. I think that users will be added in another way, so I deselect this one. I have no selection limit. That means that there are no maximum members in the project. If you do need that, well, then you can write a number here, but I'll leave the rest as this, and I just save the field. Then, of course, each project, we already have the possibility to add a title, some kind of info, and the box there, or the Gutenberg block layout, there you can kind of add anything. But I think it would be nice that we have a separate area where the users can add their images. So let's add a field for that, and let's call this project images, like this. And let's select that this is an image. And then we need to set this one up also. We would like to have multiple, and in my case I think that I don't want the users to be able to go into the media repository and select files, so they need to upload files. And only image files, and this is where the images are supposed to be saved, and I leave it as it is. But I would like to set the maximum number of files, and this is 6, for example, in this case. You can restrict the file size here, but also remember that you have WordPress limit that is usually also set. That might be a low number, and then if you write something higher here, you will not be able to upload bigger files. So you need to also have this in connection with a file size from WordPress. But I'll leave it as this at the moment, so I save this one. Then we also need a field to connect to the courses, but we haven't created courses yet, so this will be what we can add at the moment. Don't forget to save the pod. Now we have our pod, and we can actually go to projects, and we can add a new project. And we can see at the bottom here, we have about the project data, we have the creators, and then we can add images. And we also have the featured image, as we said that we had support for that. We have support for title, and we had support for the editor, and this is the Gutenberg standard editor. So everything here is what we expected.